Hey guys, Lewis Arrow, Frugal Student. Don't know what happened to my last video. I was kind of in mid of a stream and my computer kind of messed up, so I had to end the stream. But today, I mean, I'm going to try and do this maybe once a week, maybe to the 1 or 2 viewers that end up kind of tuning in. But I just think it'd be cool just to talk about generally talk about the stock market and things going on. Maybe have a different theme each week. Basically, just to have a chat and just to discuss stocks, and hopefully in the end, I mean, who knows, maybe we'll get 10 or so viewers, we can get a good discussion going here. So what I want to kind of discuss today is the biggest mistake that new stock market investors make, myself included. I made some of these mistakes and it set me back a few grand by the end of it. So I think the first mistake, the biggest mistake people make, and I think it's Peter Lynch or Phil Fisher that puts it this way, is watering the weeds and picking the plants, or the other way around, picking the plants in your portfolio and then watering the weeds. And that's because people always find it easy to average down into positions. And they always find it difficult to average up. I mean, who buys something from a store for cheaper, next week it's more expensive and you want to buy more, right? It's a very, very difficult thing to do. But if that item is still undervalued to its market worth, then it's still a good idea. So I'm going to give you a real life example of this happening to me. Now, Card Factory is a company that I bought because it had really, really good cash generation. It was a very, very simple business. That's all that the company does, is manufactures and sells cards at about 29 pence each. And then maintains a gross margin around 30%, which to me is a simple enough business. It's a good business to understand too, and it converts a lot of that revenue into free cash flow. So I first bought into this company at about 200, and I believe it was around 250, 240 pence a share. I can't remember the exact number. And I was really confident in my buy. I was like, right, okay, I've got this cash generative company at a really good valuation that's going to spit out dividends, and I'm going to benefit from that in the long term. So I win. And even if this stock is going to go down, I'm going to buy more. And you see, I'd already kind of predetermined that decision that if it went down, I was going to buy more. And I hear a lot of investors say exactly the same thing. They're like, I've got this position. If this positions go down, I'm not worried. I'm going to buy more. Which is good logic if that decline is due to the market only. Now you have to. Hey Chris, how's it going? You're my first viewer, so any questions, go for it. So people who kind of have this predetermined mindset that if a stock goes down, they're going to buy more. It's a really good mindset, but only if there hasn't been an underlying change in the company. Now, if the market drives the price of a security down, fine. You can buy it as long as the fundamentals are there. I made this absolute newbie mistake when it came to shares in Card Factory. So I bought in at about 250, 240 pence. And then they had a set of quarterly results, or half-year results, and the share price tanked 20%. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm going to buy more because I already made the predetermined decision that I was going to buy more. Now, what should I have done was to have gone to had a look at the numbers, to had a look at the underlying fundamentals of the company and ask myself a question: has there been a fundamental change in the underlying business? The answer overwhelmingly was yes, because the company was facing increasing costs from minimum wage increases, and they weren't able to offset that with price rises because they're famous for selling cards for 29 pence. It's kind of like Poundland. I mean, if they're famous, or Dollar Tree or whatever it's called in the US, if you're famous, if your whole brand is centered around selling products for specifically very, very cheap prices, you're not going to be able to increase your prices. So what happens in the end is as costs increase, your margin just gets absolutely squished. So I bought more mindlessly. I didn't see this, and I kept buying more and more. And now, while I'm down on that position about 30%, when I could have just had a 20% kind of decrease in that position. So that's a mistake people make. They mindlessly buy more as the share price is going down, which makes absolutely no sense unless the fundamental business itself is intact. So you flip that on the other side then, and again, and I'm guilty of this mistake, as I'm sure most honest investors out there are. They're guilty of the mistake of not buying more when a stock is going up. And now this sounds kind of counterintuitive because, again, you're paying more for something you paid less for. But I'll give you a real life example to kind of illustrate this. So I first bought Apple shares at about $92 a share. And I was happy with this position. It was a really ridiculous kind of PE to the company. So I was right, okay, I'm happy. $92 a share. What happened was, over time, of course, the kind of strong fundamental performance of Apple came through, and the share price went up 110, 120, 130, 140. And, it spiked all the way up to $200 at one point. So I saw the company at about $120, and I was like, man, this is still undervalued. This is still a good company. If I didn't own any Apple shares, would I buy the company here $120? Yes, I would buy the company here $120. So why didn't I? Well, because I already had money in the position. Now just think about that. Why would you not buy more of something that's performing well? Why would you not average up? It's the hardest thing in the world to do, is to pay more for something you paid less for. But if the company has improved its performance, or if the company is still undervalued relative to the market, why would you not pay more? So what I was like, where's the lamb sauce, right, YOLO? How's Stradi going? Drop a comment down. Where's the lamb sauce? How long will you be live? I don't know, Chris, how long I'm going to be live for. I'm just doing it for a laugh, to be honest. I'm a bit bored. I've been reading this morning Michael Porter. So I just got bored. I thought I'd do a live video for about 5 minutes or something like that. And I've got some old students that I used to teach joining in as well, asking me where the lamb sauce is. I don't know where the lamb sauce is. But I do know where Apple stock price is now, and Apple is around, I think, like back up to $160 odd. So if going back to what I was originally talking about before I was talking about lamb sauce, if you know a company is undervalued at $110, $120, you bought that company originally at $90 odd. Like, why would you not buy more $110, $120? It's because we've all got this in-trained bias that's grained into us, is that we don't want to pay more for something. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like, if you could have bought a car for like $4 or $5 grand, then I don't know, a month later, the same car you were going to buy for $4 or $5 grand is now 5,500, but it's still a bargain relative to all the other cars. You kind of like, last month that was 500 quid cheaper. So it's kind of this ingrained bias that we have built inside of us more than anything. So if I just kind of recap the beginning investing mistakes that I've kind of talked about so far, those are averaging down mindlessly and not averaging up when you need to average up. I'm going to talk about one more mistake then before I go off live. I got 2 viewers now, so I may as well just cut it a bit short. So this is a mistake that's very, very easy to get pulled into, especially on the internet, and that is buying stocks because other people are buying the stocks, or because you read an article or something, or because you think it's going to be the next craze. So I'll give you a real life example in myself then about when this happened to me. And to be fair to him, someone that I kind of watch now and again on YouTube for like entertainment value, because he's got 250k subs, somewhere I'd love to be, is financial education. Jeremy Financial Education talks about this a lot as well. And that is buying stocks because other people are buying stocks. So I bought into a company called Fevertree, which is kind of like a tonic maker, because I should sub-bot. Yeah, maybe I should sub-bot, but what's the point of then making videos? So I bought into Fevertree because one of my friends bought into Fevertree. And when I looked at it, when he originally bought into it, I was like, man, this is way too expensive for anything that I'm going to be buying. Hello, Ninja MB. Hello, Mr. Thomas. I don't know who that is. So I bought into Fevertree when he kind of bought into the company, because I thought, well, I didn't buy in when he first bought into the company because I thought it was overvalued. All of a sudden, this company, Fevertree, goes an absolute tear. I think it's up like 40-50% since he bought it. And what I kind of did is that because I saw that his company went up about 40-50%, I kind of bought in then, because I thought, man, maybe he's kind of clocked something that I didn't clock. Maybe he spotted something that I didn't spot. So lo and behold, when the correction came around, I mean, Fevertree got absolutely slammed, and it got revalued down to a level that was maybe more reasonable. But the problem is, because I was following the hype, because I was following kind of the share price of the company as opposed to the underlying performance, and my friend was doing well, I bought in, and well, I got crushed in the end. So that's a lesson, I mean, for beginner investors, is not to buy a stock because other people are buying it, and not to buy a stock because the price is going up. So, I mean, those are the mistakes that I'm going to talk about today. I mean, I'm getting kind of like flamed in the chat now by some students that I used to teach at one point. A ninja with a picture of a kind of like a Maltese or a poodle or something like that. So I'm going to stop the video here. And if you got any questions, I mean, drop them below, and I'll be sure to get back to them. And see you around. Cheers for watching, guys. Even if it was to I don't take the mic a little bit.